So in class we already talked about the impacts of well pumping on water movement. Here we're just going to focus just a little bit on how well pumping can impact pollution transport pretty dramatically, again using this case of Massachusetts. Okay, so in Woburn, Massachusetts, somebody should tell me exactly how to pronounce that coming from the West. Anyway, so there were families using drinking water from wells G and H, and these families had cancer rates that were 4 times higher than the national average. So pretty striking something going on here. So in 1979, they discovered that there had been this sort of midnight dumping of chemicals relatively near these city water supply wells, and tests revealed extremely high levels of trichloroethylene, TCE, which we sort of talked about a couple classes ago, and is linked to things like leukemia and birth defects, and then also perchloroethylene, PCE. So 2 chemicals that I think we've talked about a little bit in class, clearly having some pretty major impacts on these families. So in 1979, these wells were closed, and they remain closed today. So there were a huge number of nearby chemical facilities, including W.R. Grace. So they used solvents there. Beatrice Food Company, before Beatrice Foods was there, was an old tannery property, so they were kind of stuck with the cleanup of this tannery. Uniforst Corporation, which was industrial dry cleaning, so you know that TCE and PCE are both sort of associated with dry cleaning. Olympia was a trucking terminal, so they were using degreasers and solvents, and then NEP was a vinyl siding manufacturing company. And I'm telling you this because you're going to see them on this map. This thing here on the right, or on your left, sorry, is the video you already watched looking at how the pumping of these 2 wells impacted infiltration of river water into the aquifer. And then I'm going to show you this other video here, which shows you simulated TCE movement and how pumping these wells impacted the flow of these chemicals across the aquifer. Okay, so here is the video, and you can pretty much just watch as much of this as you want. I'm just going to let it run, and then after that I'm going to pretty much stop the video. So this is just to kind of let you visualize how really pumping a well can sort of change the flow of pollutants and groundwater across a landscape by impacting hydraulic head and hydraulic gradients. So these are the various chemical companies and companies that I was mentioning in the previous slide. And again, red means that one or both of the wells are pumping, and black means that they're not pumping. So right now, water flow is essentially unimpacted by pumping. And now you see the G well starting to pump, and you can see it's having a pretty major impact on where that TCE is going. You can see 1979 is when they stopped using these wells and stopped pumping.